feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go.
This video comes with a massive trigger warning. Verbs and Alters put out a video 2 weeks ago on September 10, 2023. The video is titled Eugenia's Death Spiral Time for Kindness or Silence. I want to share her video. This is a very powerful message.
Of the internet, and welcome to what I strongly suspect will be the last or thereabouts video I ever make on Eugenia Cooney. Looking back, I think my talking about her has averaged out to roughly one video a year. And in the early days, roughly 6 years ago, I felt that much of the hysteria around Eugenia was really unhelpful and also kind of unwarranted. Yes, her appearance was shocking, but when you've been around anorexic people for the majority of your life, you come to know what is and isn't survivable. Maintaining a low weight in your early 20s is seriously ill-advised, but the thing is, it's rarely fatal. I always said, though, that if Eugenia was still in this state in her late 20s to early 30s, that would be the danger zone. And I feel like I have to speak up now because everything going on with Eugenia that I've seen lately, I've seen before. And I've seen it in a friend who is no longer with us. Eugenia stopped maintaining her weight several months ago. Like I'd always said, she's kind of, yes, she's very sick, but she has maintained her weight for a long time. She's not going into a death spiral. She's maintained it. She's got some element of control over it. That has gone. She's visibly in the midst of a parachute-free death spiral. Whether she is actively seeking to end her life, as I believe my friend was when she went through the same thing, or whether she's simply overwhelmed by her disorder to a degree she never was before, I cannot know, and it's not for me to speculate. But I will say it's exactly what happened to my friend. The death spiral, the plummeting weight, round about the same age. And then she was gone, and I was left with so many regrets. I want to try and spare the Eugenia Cooney fans and haters alike from the same regret. There are so many people with their claws out for her right now, probably more than ever before, since she got on TikTok, since her weight went into freefall. I know I was semi-recently dragged into some very toxic, catty discussion about Eugenia, and really all I have to say to that hot mess is, do you really want these things to be the final words you say about a dying girl right before she slips away, in part due to the echoes of your cruelty? Because like I said, I never bought into the hysteria before. I've never pronounced or screamed that Eugenia is dying, that someone needs to step in, that where are the poor child's parents? I understand why people do this, but when you've been around anorexic people for a long time, you learn that these questions are not the things to do because A, like I've said, I've seen cases of severe emaciation before, and B, most pertinently, because an anorexic person will see this hysteria and often will not take it as a wake-up call, but as a compliment. Because it's a confirmation that they really are that thin, that sick, all the things that we feel we need this confirmation and this reassurance of. You're getting that when you pour out this hysteria that is unwarranted, it doesn't help. But at this point, I feel like, at this point, it is warranted and it does need saying. I don't expect to be listened to in this video by Eugenia, by her parents, by anyone close to her, but you just never know. Maybe the fact that the one person who always said there was more time is now saying, Eugenia, you're out of time. You're out of time. You're out of pounds to strip away. The only thing left is the final pound of muscle keeping your heart beating. And when that's gone, you'll go wherever my friend went back in 2014. They found her curled up in bed, cold, gone, one full moon heat wave night, just like kind of now. It was a heat wave. One day she was out drinking cocktails on her patio in the sun. And a day or two later, that dreaded Facebook status has been found dead. Honestly, so weird because it was so obvious, but at the same time, our first reaction was someone's hacked her account. She's being trolled. Like she can't be dead, not her. No, she was dead. So Eugenia, are you really ready for that? And if you say yes, I understand. I fully fucking understand the burden of dragging yourself through nearly 3 decades of life attached to the hefty, reeking baggage of mental illnesses you cannot shake and an internet load of vile, venomous humans baying for your blood. If you're done with this world, I get it. But I fucked up before with my friend. I tried to tough love her out of it, and when she died, the last thing I'd been with her was tough, not loving. That would be a permanent millstone of regret around my neck. And I don't want anyone else left with that. Not you, Eugenia, and not your followers. If you wanted a different life, it could still happen. You don't need this online shit. You've got the funds now to take a year out, go traveling, see things you've never seen before and that I think you kind of want to see. Maybe the damage is already done. Maybe you'd still slip away in the silken sheets of some hotel bed in Rome or Paris or even Japan. But maybe that would still be more fulfilling than this repetition, this defeat, this emptiness. Too many people say you didn't try, that you don't try. I think that's why they hate you, but the truth is no one can see inside your soul but you. I think you've tried. I think you kept yourself alive in the face of so much vileness and vitriol and behind-the-scenes dysfunction. You are a goddamn powerful being. And don't ever let the baying masses take that away from you. They don't know your life, your heart, your struggles. I guess what I'm saying is, you're not invincible, girl. Not anymore. You've reached that accursed age, you've reached that weight, you've reached that state of mind. If you're still here in 18 months like this, I'll be really surprised. So if there's anything you want to say or do or see, don't let anything or anyone stop you. Not even yourself, and certainly not the demons in your head. There'll be things you'll miss about this earth when you're gone, even if they're few and far between. Don't leave with regrets if you have to leave at all. I know you've said you were the most miserable you've ever been in those months after treatment, but inpatient isn't the only option. You don't have to cede control completely all at once. I know I couldn't do that with any of my addictions or anything. I get not wanting to just 5150 go inpatient, have no control over anything. That's terrifying. That is terrifying, and I get not wanting to do that ever again. But there's day patient, there's intensive outpatient online therapy groups. You have options, but you don't have time. Not anymore. Please know, Eugenia, and I really doubt you're watching this, listening to this ever, but you never know. But while hate always speaks louder than love, just like my long-lost friend, you have been loved. You have touched hearts, and not just for your disorder. Not just for the sick irony of, as the Manics once put it, the only way to gain approval is by exploiting the very thing that cheapens me. Your weight rocketed you into the public eye, but it was your personality, including your seriously underrated, dry, scathing wit and a sense of humour that soared like a black raven over most people's heads. It was seen, it has been noted. People have seen that about you and clocked that about you and enjoyed that about you. It has been appreciated, and we'll miss you, girl, if it goes the way I think it's going. So, to turn to Eugenia's harshest critics, I suggest you too look in the mirror and evaluate the incoming loss of someone so central to your bitter little world. Those of you who spend all day collecting screenshots to pour over to post to Reddit and rake and shred with venomous claws and bitter, scathing words, she's going. She is going. You're being left here, and the last thing you fucking did was tear her to shreds. Daily, for months, if not years. You might not taste that regret instantaneously. You might just be pissed off that your punching bag got snatched away so soon. Because truly, some of you are that unapologetically awful. But I do think the regret will catch you up in time. Immaturity happens to all of us. We may not want it, but it fucking does. So don't be left with regrets. Eugenia is not stupid. Just like any of us, all of us with an online presence. We see the things you whisper and spit behind doors you think you've closed us out of. We see that shit. We have eyes in many places. It's not too late to delete your trails of internet bile and say something fucking nice. Take a Brillo pad to the rust and pus that covers your shut-down heart and learn that life is not forever and that hate has its price, its consequence. To the content creators who shall remain nameless but who've become professional Eugenia vultures in recent months with bi-weekly videos bitterly analysing her every breath and blink, please remove this dying girl from your fucking petri dish and let her breathe the free air in her final weeks and months, because I genuinely do believe we are in her final weeks and months. And like I say, if you've ever seen my videos before, my stance has always been, there's time. There is time. I've seen this before. There is time. No one drops yet. But she's at that age that I've always been saying, when she gets to this age, this is when we're going to have to start worrying. She's reached that age. She's gone into freefall. I've seen this before. I know where it goes. Anyone whose videos and posts and stories perpetrate hate against the dying, realize she won't have to live with you for much longer, but you will. And outside of the Eugenia verse, there's more. We all need to apply this shit to everyone. Everyone online, everyone we pass on the street. We're all human, more or less. We're all flawed. We all fuck up. And we all deserve second chances, kindness, and the benefit of the doubt, especially when we're sick. And I think it's time for kindness or silence. Literally just that. If I'm right and we lose her in the next few months, would you still say those things you've been saying about the dead? I doubt it. So why in hell's name say it when that suffering, struggling person still has a heart that feels and ears that hear? Maybe this is too long, didn't read, but in short, don't be an asshole. Have some fucking compassion. I can feel her time coming over the hill, and this finally needs saying. So, Eugenia, once more, you're an adult, and you've struggled on in the vicious public eye like a goddamn prize fighter. You've earned the right to say and feel and do whatever you feel you need right now. If I was you, I'd put down the camera and go out there to live my truth, however briefly. I hope you find happiness, contentment, peace, whether it's in this world or the next. I don't think you're stupid or blasé or blind or not trying. I know you can feel your own starved heart giving out the exit sensations of this harsh existence. I wish your life had been easier and more pleasant. If you want more time, I hope you find the strength to go after it, to rejig your life, to try to see past the demon. Those of you who've held on to your humanity and compassion as Eugenia followers, not fetishized or loathed her, congratulations on being decent specimens of such a deeply flawed species. There's nothing more to say now. If you interact with Eugenia or her social media or her Reddit threads from now on, make it kind, Realize those words may be the last thing she ever reads. Like literally, who knows what is going to be the last thing she reads before she goes to bed or before she keels over? You don't know. You don't know. Is it going to be your horrible words? Literally, it's possible. And it's becoming increasingly possible. Think on that. I don't think any of us have always treated her perfectly. We've all made assumptions in our own ways. But again, it's time for compassion or fucking silence. Thanks for listening.
I would like to say thank you to Averbs and Alters for having the courage to say what some of us could not put into words. I agree it's time for kindness or silence. What will you choose?